Gee, I guess we'll suffer through it. But to let you know that in the beginning, in the front of our booklet here, is our mission statement. And that mission statement is something that we adhere to. And we're knowing that this center is growing and growing and sending out energy and doing all kinds of great things. So our affirmation is, our mission statement is, we are a loving spiritual community that honors your presence, nurtures your joyful self-expression, and empowers your spiritual growth. Do you believe it?
Yes.
Absolutely, I do. Now, before we do our song, we're going to do our opening affirmation, and that is, I realize that there is a divine presence at the center of my being. I let this recognition flow through my entire consciousness. I let it reach down into my very depths of my being. I rejoice in this realization. The perfect life of God is in and through me, in every part of my being. As the sun dissolves the mist, so my acceptance of life dissolves all pain and discontent. I am free. I'm glad you could read it. And so it is. All right, now we're going to stand and have our congregational song, Grateful. Do you know it or? Okay. All right, this is an easy song though. We're gonna get this, and this is the month of being filled with gratitude, isn't it? So here we go. Oops. Grateful for the morning, grateful for the sunlight on my face, grateful for the feeling, grateful for the knowing, grateful for the love that's in this place, grateful for believing that God is all there is, that God is all there is. Grateful for the morning, grateful for the sunlight on my face, grateful for the feeling, grateful for the knowing, grateful for the love that's in this place, grateful for believing that God is all there is. God is all there is. God is all there is. Beautiful. We're getting there. We're getting there. It's a good way to start things. So I have the announcements printed at home, and so maybe my cat at home, we could call him and he'll read them to us. No. So we're knowing that there's all kinds of things going on. We're going to delay the volunteer dinner just by 1 week, and we're going to make it December 7th. I don't know if that works, and we're going to have a sign-up sheet and all that good stuff, but mark it on your calendars and be ready because we have some good stuff for you and a beautiful dinner. So we're going to know that. So how many are planning to attend?
What day is that?
It's a Sunday. It's after service. Yeah.
Is that the IHOP turkey dinner like there?
We're looking at that and some other options. Yeah, I mean, but that IHOP turkey dinner is pretty good. Wouldn't you say? I'd say it is, but that's what we're looking at. But we want to do something celebratory for all our volunteers, which is basically everybody in the room. Joe and Robert have their muscles now because they undid our hose last week, which was, I'm like, hey, Robert. And every time he's like, ugh, because they helped me build my desk, which was, you needed a master's degree in order to do that, which I didn't have. So there you go. But so we also know that on Fridays from 10 to 11, there we have the gentle stretch and yoga chair class. And how many go to that? How many have gone to, I know me and Naomi and some others. Yeah, it's really a good class. It's very, very fun and it's awesome. This Friday we're having a spiritual, the column Spiritually Speaking in the newspaper. We're kind of revamping it and we're going to have a all hands on deck meeting on Friday about that with all the different folks that are involved in that. So we're going to have a meeting here on Friday, which will be very productive. It's just for the newspaper folks and some of the other churches, heads of the churches. Yeah, just the different people that we're trying to reach out and invite more folks because it's very limited to who's coming. So yeah, we're going to be doing that, but I'll let you know about it. It's Friday at 11 o'clock. Friday at 11 o'clock in Chafee Hall. Let me think here. We do have a sound bath that's coming up next Saturday. That's going to be from 1 to 2, and that is $25, and no one is turned away, but just letting you know, it's $25, so we've got that going on. We're working on getting David Belushi in his concert. We'll start reaching out to him because he hasn't reached out to me, so we're gonna try. We're gonna give that a whirl and see if we can do something for December, like a Christmas concert. And if not, we're thinking about a Valentine's Day concert. What do you think? You know what? There's all kinds of options. We could do a New Year's concert if we wanted to. And just to know that, before the service, we study the Science of Mind book. That's from 9 to 9:30, 9:25, and then we do a meditation from 9:30 until 9:45. And then afterwards, pardon me, in the front, we have a prayer circle, and that's, how many have been a part of the prayer circle? It's really powerful. You just go in, one word, whatever is going on with you, pardon me, and you share that. So that's wonderful. And now we're going to have our meditative music. There you go. God is all that there is. I am one with the Spirit. I realize the truth, and I speak it. I am thankful for it all. I release it, I let it go, and so it is, and so it is. I know it is, and I receive as I believe. Amen. 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 And those of you who are curious about what our lunch is going to be, it is brought to you by Naomi, and she's got coleslaw, a brunch casserole, okay, there's our mystery thing, and orange cranberry jello. Always good. Thank you, Naomi. And thank you to everybody who sets up and cleans up after. We sure do appreciate that. So now is our time for our affirmative prayer. So please relax, close your eyes if you'd like to, and just focus on that breath. Focus on that breath coming in and out. For that is the breath of life. And that life is the one life. That life is God. That life is perfect, and that life is our life right now. We are brought into this world by the grace of our Creator. And this Creator is in and through, around everything there is. For as we sing, God is all there is. And all that Spirit is resides within each and every one of us. So we are never alone. We are always united with Spirit. Spirit gives us the power to our choices. Spirit gives us the solutions to our problems. Spirit walks with us through every part of our lives, the light and the dark, the good and what we call bad. But Spirit is right there, bringing us through every single step of the way. And when we listen to that voice of inspiration, we are guided. We are protected.
we are supported by the One. So when we go through our life and we feel those challenges and we feel those issues and we have our hands tightly drawn together in fists hanging on for dear life, when we remember to open our arms, open those hands, and let go, we can let this go in to that perfection, to the perfection of Spirit who knows exactly what we need, how to resolve any issue that we have. And when we remember to truly let it go and let God, then all our good is coming our way, because our faith, our belief, our trust that Spirit has us in the palm of its hands to nurture, to love, to bring joy and peace, and to truly bring us all our good, for we are so worthy, we are so deserving, and Spirit wants us to have it all the love that we can contain, all the peace that runs through our body, all the joy and laughter. It's all ours. We have but to claim it. So with complete confidence and faith, we put these words into that divine law of creative mind, knowing God is bringing us to our highest and greatest good. And we can all affirm together, and so it is. Amen. Okay. And so for a little reading here from Ernest Holmes and Science of Mind, and this is on page 246. It's got an interesting heading that I'm not even going to bother to read. So here we go. Equally, we must not have fear for the future. I see that the future is bright with promise. It beckons me forward into a more complete realization of my own worth and my rightful place in the universe. All my tomorrows will be happy and filled with harmonious occupations. I look to the future with great and pleasurable anticipation, knowing it will expand my opportunity for radiant self-expression. I love my past and my future and understand that they are but continuations of the one unbroken chain of life. There is no future to be afraid of and no past to bring discord into the present. And so it is. Okay. There we go.
All righty. Today's topic is on acceptance and worthiness. And so this song is a song by David Alt. And here we go. I'm here to remind you of your magnificence, to help you awake to all the wonders that you are. I long to show you all the joy you're worthy of. I'm here to remind you how much you're truly loved. You're here to remind me magnificence, to help me awake to all the wonders that I am. You long to show me all the joy I'm worthy of. You're here to remind me how much I'm truly loved. There we go. Righty. It's a little bit of a high key in the morning, but that's okay. The next song is too, so that'll be coming along. So, acceptance and worthiness. When we think about it, the sense of worthiness, actually, I'm going to give you the definition by the dictionary one, is like being deserving, either in a general sense of possessing value and merit, or for a specific sense of feeling something. And acceptance is the act of accepting something or someone, which can mean being approved, or it can be agreeing with a proposal or a belief. Now, if you think of yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 in terms of your self-worth, where are you at? Where are you at? On a scale of 1 to 10. Oh, good. Somebody called out an 8. That's good. 10. Well, that's good. And some people may call out a 3 or a 4. And sometimes we let it be based on how we're feeling in the moment, right? But the idea of self-worth is an underlying thing that's an absolute specific to who and what we are. So many times we think of our self-worth by all the things that we're putting out there, the things that we're doing in the world, what the world looks like on the outside, how busy am I, how successful am I? But our self-worth is not about what we're putting out in the world. It's just about who we are. It has nothing to do with what we're doing. Now, self-worth is based on an intrinsic idea, something innate within us that cannot be taken away, but it is built upon by our core beliefs. And sometimes our core beliefs were started way back when we were little kids and accepted things about our truth that someone told us, you are this way and you are not that way. But it's a sense of self-acceptance, it's a sense of self-love, it's a sense of being fundamentally worthwhile, just as you are. That's what self-worth is about, that you're worthy of respect simply by being who you are. Now, I don't know about you, but sometimes many of us go out and we build our sense of self-worth on how much we've put out there in the world. Some of us are confident about things, and confidence is different than self-worth, although sometimes we define them as the same in our life. I don't know about you, but sometimes you're feeling confident, like I can accomplish this, and I can do that, and I can do this, and therefore I feel worthy. But that's not what worth is based on. Worth is based on our intrinsic value. Confidence is about what you show on the outside, what you do, your skills, the things you've done, your accomplishments, everything like that. But worth is about what you feel inside. And what we feel inside, often we make it based on what we've done in our lives, right? And so as a result, we get this limited thinking or limited valuing of ourselves because we've looked outside there of this is what I've done, so that makes me worthwhile. But that's not the truth. What's the truth is that we're worthwhile inherently. The moment we were born, you exist. Because you exist, you're worthwhile. How about if we say that? Because I exist, I'm worthwhile. Do you believe that? Yes. Oh, that's good. I'm liking this room. Okay. Many times we try to bolster our sense of self and our sense of self-worth by accomplishing things, by doing things, by do. I don't know. There's a lot of busy people in this center, aren't there, Nancy? There's a lot of people, we go out there and we do a lot of things. We do, and all of a sudden when we stop to take a breath, it's like, how am I feeling about myself? Where am I checking in? Self-worth has nothing to do with what's happening outside. It's only about how you're valuing yourself, how you're reviewing yourself. What's the truth with a capital T, not the small t. So there's a story about a young monk and an elder monk. And the young monk comes to the elder monk and he said, how do I know how to value myself? How do I know what my value in the world is? I don't understand. I don't get it. So the elder monk says, okay, I want you to do an experiment with me. I'd like you to go out in the back and I want you to pick up a rock. Just pick up a rock that you resonate with. Just go pick up a rock. So the boy goes out and he picks up a rock and he said, now, I want you to go to the market and I want you to bring that rock and look at the shopkeeper and without saying a word, just be like, how much would you offer me for this rock? So he's like, I'm going to go to the market with a rock I just picked up out of the yard. And he's like, okay, I'll do it. So he goes there and he goes, but the big part is don't accept the offer and don't say a word and then come back to me. And he goes, oh, okay. So he goes there and he goes to the shopkeeper and the shopkeeper's looking at the rock and he's examining it. And meanwhile, a woman over there sees this guy examining the rock and goes, well, I'll give you $20 for the rock because I could use a paperweight and that looks like it'll work out perfectly at my house. So the boy doesn't say anything and he walks away and he goes back to the elder and he goes, they were going to offer me $20 for this rock. He goes, okay. He goes, so I don't understand how this relates to my value. He goes, keep going. He goes, now I'd like you to go to the museum. And he's like, the museum? He goes, yeah, go to the museum and show them that you found this rock. And you want to know what the value is. So he's like, okay. So he goes there with the rock and he goes, don't say a word and don't accept anything that they offer you. So he's like, okay. So he goes there and at the museum shopkeeper's like, wow, this is pretty amazing. This has got some amazing material in it. And the different people in the museum are looking around going, oh, wow. So he goes, all right, I'll offer you $200. And he goes, and the boy just looks at him like in horror. And he goes, all right, $2,000. I'll give you $2,000 for the rock. So the boy takes the rock and leaves. And the guy's like, but wait a minute. And the boy leaves. He goes back to the elder. He goes, he's going to offer me $2,000 for this rock. And he goes, okay. He goes, so what's the lesson? And he goes, you got one more place to go. He goes, now I'd like you to go to the antique shop where they really value antiques. And he goes, same deal. I want you to go there. Don't say a word. Just ask him what the value is. So he goes there with the rock. And the antique dealer's looking at it. But now by this time, a lot of the people in the neighborhood have heard that, well, there's this boy that's going, he's got this precious rock. And he won't accept, everybody's offering him big bucks, but he won't accept it because he knows what the value is. So the antique shopkeeper is there and all the people are around. They're like, what are you going to offer him? What are you going to offer him? He goes, okay, all right, so I'll give you a 2 with 4 zeros after it. And the boy just looks at him blankly and he goes, no, I meant a 2 with 5 zeros. I'll give you $200,000 for this rock. Please give me the rock. Sell me the rock. $200,000. And the boy just looks at him and walks away. And everybody's like, oh my gosh. So he goes back to the elder. He goes, we're rich. They were going to offer us $200,000 for this rock that I got in the backyard. And he goes, but what's the deal? And he goes, see, it's not about any value that people outside there place on it. It's the value you know yourself. So when we look outside ourselves to get a value, you see how the amounts changed? And when he went in and then the rumor had gotten around that he had a precious rock, all of a sudden it was worth $200,000 and the woman was going to buy it for $20 for a paperweight. And that sounds like kind of a silly story, but guess what? Sometimes we do that, don't we? You've gone on a job interview and they go, you don't quite have the qualifications. Or you're in a relationship and they're like, we don't quite mix together, or whatever it is. We look in the mirror and we go, oh, I'm not looking quite up to snuff. I don't have the wardrobe. I don't have the whatever. Or you go somewhere, you go, I just don't have the smarts. It has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with you are worthy just because you're here. You're worthy just because you're here, just because you exist. Now, I don't know if you woke up this morning saying that in your meditation, but sometimes it's important. He says, when the elder looks at me, he says, well, he explained the rock's value changed depending on the place that he went to. And isn't the same with us in our life? Wherever we go, different people value us at a different rate, right? Somebody may say, oh, you're chopped liver when you're in the market, or get out of the way, or when you're on the road and somebody cuts you off, they think they're more valuable than you are, right? Or whatever it is. We let people a lot of times outside there determine who we are. Now, if someone came up to you and said, I don't like your purple hair, it wouldn't matter to us unless you were Carolyn. but it wouldn't matter to us because we know we don't have purple hair. And we say, oh, how silly. You know, that's so elementary. Of course I don't have purple hair, so I'm not going to let whatever they say bother me. But a lot of times what people say bothers us, and we take it to heart, and we make it have an impression upon our value. Did you ever notice that? Someone may make a comment or say something to you, and it's like, you know what? We can't let it knock down our own personal value. And we say that it doesn't happen, but think about it. We go through life and we've gone through all these experiences, and little by little that sort of wears down on your valuing of yourself or your feeling of self-worth. The problem is many times we don't see the goodness in ourselves. We don't see that we're worthy just as we are. Let's see here, I'm going to see, depending on, many times we're just so hard on ourselves. And guess what? You know, when we're hard on ourselves and we make a judgment about ourselves, there's this law in science of mind, it's called mental equivalence or the law of correspondence. And what it says is the thought that you hold in your mind impresses upon the great universal intelligence. And so what happens is we start to feel less than about ourselves. We put that impression upon the universal mind, or God in action as we call it, and what happens? It produces more of the same. And then we go, oh gosh, it's just like our thought is always a seed. So when we plant a carrot seed, we're not going to be disappointed we're not going to be disappointed for anything other than if it's not a carrot. But we're anticipating the seed that we planted. If we plant a carrot seed, we're expecting a carrot. But think about our thoughts. When we make a judgment about ourselves as being less than, we've planted a seed of less than, and the universe goes, oh, is that your impression? Is that your instruction to me? I obey, and it produces more of the same. We don't want that. We don't want that. And so how do we get out of that routine? It's about just sitting and being. It's about going within. It's about trusting in that truth. It's about spending time with that inner valuing of yourself, and that beautiful saying, be still and know. Just be still and know. It's stay in the understanding that I am creating my divine experience just as I am. The picture that I hold in my mind is what will create the results. So many times if we don't like what we're seeing, go back. What's the picture that I have in my mind about myself? What do I have about myself? Now you may be on doing hotsy-totsy in terms of creating the perfect bank account and the job and the relationship and everything. How are you doing about yourself? How are you doing about your sense of self-worth? How are you doing about how you feel in the world without having to do anything? That you're good enough right here where you are. And many times that's difficult for a lot of us, especially the doers. Seeing from the truth with a capital T, that's what it is. Sometimes we've taken on things about ourselves, assumptions that we've made about ourselves. Oh, I'm not smart enough. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not rich enough. I don't live in the right neighborhood. Whatever it is, we let that come back to us and tell us who we are. This teaching reminds us you don't go to the outside experiences to determine who you are. It's an inward job, and you go from the inside and know that truth, and that produces the result that you want. But many times we look at that and say, oh, that's going to determine who and what I am. So this teaching reminds us it's the reverse of what we've been taught. You don't look outside there. You know what? It doesn't mean we don't do good things. It doesn't mean we're not productive. It doesn't mean not to be confident. But confidence is different than self-worth. Confidence is the acknowledgement that I've created something. I've produced something in my life and I've accomplished something. So the idea is that when we honor ourselves, the value is notable. Have you ever been around someone that really has a strong sense of self-worth? They're a different bird. They really are. They're different because they're fun to be around, because there's no noise. There's no stuff going on. They're okay with who they are, right as they are. And that's the other side of this. Anybody familiar with David Viscott? I love David Viscott. I went to many, many of his workshops. God bless him. He's no longer on this plane. But he used to say, when you recognize your strengths, you also have to embrace your weaknesses. And that for everything that there is, now in spiritual mind teaching, we don't believe in dualism. However, in our own life, there is dualism. There can't be cleverness without ignorance. There can't be confidence without lack of self-esteem. And that sounds kind of funny, but remembering that getting to the heart of healing whatever it is that ails you spiritually and mentally is to say for everything there's its opposite. And embracing that opposite is how we become whole. We already are whole. We already are perfect. We already are complete. But the thing is, I have this beautiful quote about perfection. The problem is that we start to be judgmental in terms of our perfection. And what we have to do instead is just embrace the wholeness of who we are. Yes, there's times I'm confident and there's times I'm a weakling. There's times I'm clever and there's times I'm ignorant. There's times I'm feeling strong about myself and there's times I'm not. And all of it is, we're the same. We're the same one whole. It's the same, it's two sides of the same coin. And that's who we are in terms of our self-worth. So when we step into our greatness and we get calm about who we are and what we're doing, I want to just find this quote. I must accept the whole of who I am. I have to recognize and honor the good and the bad. And there's no good and bad are odd terms, but the strength and the weakness. And when we appreciate that, and when we stand in that strength of going, I'm the whole of who I am, and everything becomes, I'm becoming spiritually mindful of it. And remember that as we spiritually awaken, it doesn't happen overnight. I mean, it could, but it's little by little. It's the baby steps that we take to recognizing who we are in the world and what we want to be and what our purpose is and how successful we're doing at that. But doing at that is just saying, I am who I am. I am. We have that beautiful saying here, God is and I am. How about saying that? God is and I am. And you know what that means? I am. I am the godliness personified as me right here in this moment. There's, as we tap into that calmness of that presence inside, we release those unhelpful assumptions we made about how we're less than, and we embrace instead the goodness of who we are. There's a beautiful prayer in the back of the Science of Mind, and it's called, I shall keep the promises that I made to myself. And it says, I shall keep the promise that I've made to myself. I shall never again let myself be poor, sick, weak, or unhappy. I shall not lie to myself anymore. I shall daily speak the truth in my inner soul, telling it that it is wonderful and it's marvelous, and that it is one with the great cause of all life, God, power, truth, life, and action. I shall whisper these things into my soul until it breaks forth in songs of joy with the realization of its limitless possibilities. I assure my soul of my self-worth. And so it is. Okay? Thank you. Okay. Now this song is, I'm going to turn on a little speaker and know that it's going to work. And this is a song called Better Than I. It's by a man named John Bucchino. And I'm going to just try to figure out where the power button is, which I can never figure out. It has a big arrow where the power button is. Doesn't matter. Okay. And it's called Better Than I. Okay. I'm going to see if that works. Pardon me. Here we go. I thought I did what's right. I thought I had the answers. I thought I chose the surest road, but that road led me here. So I put up a fight, and I told you how to help me. Now just when I have given up, the truth is coming clear. You know better than I. You know the way. I've let go the need to know why, for you know better than I. If this has been a test, I cannot see the reason, but maybe knowing I don't know is part of getting through. I try to do what's best, and faith has made it easy to see the best thing I can do is put my faith in you, for you know better than I. You know the way. I've let go the need to know why, for you know better than I. I saw a cloud and thought it was the sky. I saw a bird and thought that I could follow. But it was you that taught that bird to fly. If I let you reach me, will you teach me? For you know better than I. You know the way. I've let go the need to know why. I'll take what answer you supply. You know better than Isn't that a cool song? Thank you. Yes, indeedy. That's one of my heroes, this musician. I can't turn this thing off. Okay, got it off. Oop, it went off and it went on. Okay, all righty. So this is the time of the sharing of our treasure. And I invite you to take your gift in the palm of your hand and let us affirm. And the offertory affirmation is on the left-hand side of your page, and it says, divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, bless, and prosper all who give and all who receive. It is evidence of my conviction that God is the source and substance of my supply. I joyously contribute to the vision of this spiritual center, knowing that it returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so we're going to have our song. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so thankful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so thankful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so thankful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so thankful. I am so blessed. And we thank Rita for being our usher today. And we're knowing that all this generosity is flying back to you all tenfold. And it's coming in and building newer ideas and things, and everything's going on. And it is a center of love that builds on that love every step of the way. And so we give thanks for all the great things that are happening here and beyond. Thank you, Rita. And we're going to know for our Bart and our Carol, Bart is about to have his surgery this week, so they have to sequester, pardon me, to stay clear of any germs before he goes into his surgery, they said. So I said, we'll bless you while you're away. So this is the time of our benediction, of our closing prayer, and I invite you to close your eyes and let's know together. There is a power in this universe that I call God. It is the infinite intelligence, that eternal spirit that is the very essence of my being. I am strengthened every day with my awareness that God and I are one, that God is and I am. I value myself. I am anchored in a strong sense of worthiness just because I exist, not for anything that I do, but just because I am. And so as I anchor myself in that belief, I see that for each and every person that I encounter in my life. I am knowing all good things in my life right here and now. Love, peace, power, beauty, creativity, openness of mind, complete health, complete understanding, complete sense of self. And I know as I go out into the world, that which I came here to do comes to me easily. And my sense of purpose, my sense of beingness is valued in the world because I value myself. I am knowing right here and now the goodness of life flowing in every aspect, every center of my being. All things flow together for good, and I am strengthened by this teaching, by this understanding, by this community, by the pairs of eyes that look out to me every day. I recognize we are all God, we are all one. And in this sense of wholeness and oneness, I know the truth of my being, and I give thanks for it. I am ever so grateful for this teaching, for this understanding, for life itself. And I release this prayer into the law of mind, knowing that it's already done, bringing about to me the great good that I desire. So I give the perfect picture to the universe, and it reflects it right back to me, creating optimal health, optimal creativity, energy, life, goodness, greatness in all aspects. I release this and let it be so, and we know together, and so it is. And now we'll have our peace song. Let there be peace on earth, now it has begun with me. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be. With God as our power, united all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Peace has begun with me, so this is the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Now it has begun with me. Alrighty. We got some new people here.
Yeah, they've been here before.
I've seen the girl before I came.